The controversial district attorney who botched the Suzanne Morphew murder case and whose comments led to the dismissal of murder charges against another suspect is going to lose her job. Thanks for joining us for 4 o'clock at 9 News. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Linda Stanley led the case against Barry Morphew. She faced complaints over her conduct and handling of cases that have now led the Office of Attorney Regulation Counsel to disbar her. Stanley is the Republican district attorney in Chaffee, Fremont, Park, and Custer County. She led the prosecution of Barry Morphew, who was accused of killing his wife Suzanne in May of 2020. Stanley dropped the charges just days before that trial started. Complaints filed against Stanley accused her of making inappropriate comments to a podcast. They also say she showed up late to court and launched a secret investigation into the judge because she did not like his rulings. A judge in a separate case dismissed charges against a man accused of killing a 10-month-old baby because of comments that Stanley made during an interview with our partners, KRDO in Colorado Springs.
He has zero investment in this child, zero. He's watching that baby so he can get laid. That's it. Without the caring factor, without the love factor, then the baby's a pain in the.
The decision to disbar Stanley refers to her dereliction of duty. It was said that she abused her position of trust and that she must be disbarred. District attorneys are required to have a law license in Colorado. If they lose their law license, another lawyer takes over the office. We've reached out to Stanley's office for comment. We haven't heard back. Police officers are trained to run toward stimulus. That's noise or movement. On March 22, 2021, that stimulus was inside the South Boulder King Soopers when there was gunfire.
Today, marking the 4th day of testimony in the trial of the shooter who killed 10 people in that grocery store, focusing on officers who had to respond that day. Kevin Vaughn from our 9 News Investigates team has been in court all day.
In the tragedy's first minutes, more than a dozen officers rushed toward gunfire. One of them was just 1 week and 1 day into her training on the streets.
When we were putting our contact team together, we heard what we call stimulus, so shots being fired.
Jenny Schmeitz was 8 days into her field training, and now she and other officers were preparing to go after a mass shooter.
We rushed in through that ramp, passing that car that was in that ramp. And as soon as we walked into the doors, we kept hearing shots fired. We were moving towards that stimulus.
That's when she saw Officer Eric Talley on the floor, fatally wounded.
I knew it was an officer because he had a uniform. Within our contact group, I heard one of my partners say, it's Talley, he's down.
But there wasn't time to worry about Talley.
Or I heard the shots being fired, and then I felt glass falling on my neck.
So what'd you do?
We tried to take cover. We ducked down and retrieve back to that ramp.
District Attorney Michael Doherty asked her why she went into the store.
We needed to stop the threat. We needed to stop the killing. And at the same time, when I was being shot at, I just felt like maybe I wasn't going to make it home that day.
The suspect faces 10 counts of first-degree murder and dozens of other charges. He's pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Prosecutors are trying to convince the jury that he was actually sane on the day of the crime. That'll be necessary for them to get a guilty verdict. In Boulder, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Developing this evening, the Adams County coroner has now identified the man who CSP says ambushed and shot one of their troopers over the weekend. The man's been ID'd as 32-year-old Victor De Santiago of Thornton. According to court records, De Santiago is an American citizen, originally born in California before moving to Colorado. CSP also says he has an extensive criminal history dating as far back as 2010. Investigators say De Santiago shot at Trooper Ty Simcox while he was in his cruiser on Saturday afternoon and was parked along Highway 36 near Federal Boulevard. He then pulled over, De Santiago did, and continued to shoot at Simcox. He did hit him in the forearm, but Simcox managed to get out of his car and return fire, killing De Santiago. Simcox went to the hospital but has been released and is expected to be okay. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Jeremy Hola with our 9 News Investigates team is going to take a deeper look into De Santiago's criminal history.
September is the new August. That's what they're saying, at least when it comes to heat. We once again hit 90 degrees today, 60th time this year.
I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a lot of times to hit 90 degrees.
That seems
Kathy
like a
knows
lot.
this stuff.
It's like 2 months.
It is too much. I mean, we're 12 days from the start of fall, and now we've cracked top 5 in terms of warmest summers on record. I think we're all ready for a little fall chill in the air. I don't have that in the extended forecast, but I do have a cooler day coming up tomorrow. Abundant sunshine today, a little bit of smoke and haze out there, tracking isolated showers that have yet to move off the foothills into Denver. We have a Wednesday cool front that will bring in a chance for showers, a better chance of what we're seeing today, and temperatures will come down as well. We're down to 87 in Denver, still 90 in Grand Junction, 96 currently in Lamar. Winds are picking up out of the southeast, and the wind will be a feature for our Thursday forecast. We continue really dry out there, and with the wind and the warmth that we're expecting again on Thursday, a fire weather watch will go out on Thursday and possibly Friday for extremely high fire danger. But between now and then, we're hoping for a little bit of rain, seeing some widely scattered showers in the mountains, waiting to see if any of those are going to cross over into Denver tonight. In the meantime, temperatures are very comfortable for anything that you might want to do outdoors. Coming up, the timing and impact of the incoming front. I'll have that in weather in just a bit.
The second of 2 men accused of assaulting a teenage boy in a store in Greeley last month has been arrested. Surveillance video from August 25th shows the men approaching the 14-year-old while in the store. One of the men is seen pressing the boy against a cooler. The teen's mom says he was lifted up by his throat, but he punched the man to get free. Greeley police arrested one of the men yesterday. He faces assault, harassment, and child abuse charges. Now this second man faces a felony assault charge, along with false imprisonment and child abuse. 1 year ago today, a man was found shot to death on a trail near Horsetooth Reservoir, but there still hasn't been an arrest. There's no suspect, or even a motive for that matter. Paul Gallenstein was a retiree, a husband, a father. Someone shot him while he was hiking Reservoir Ridge. Larimer County investigators have been working on the case, but they say there was heavy rainfall after he was found and dense foliage in the area, which has affected the search efforts. If you can help with this mystery, call the Larimer County Sheriff's Office. The Gallenstein family has offered $50,000 for information that leads to an arrest in the case.
To Washington, where lawmakers return to work this week. Once again, they have to figure out how to avoid a government shutdown. Both sides with 3 weeks to make a deal. Funding is going to run out at the end of the month, and if a deal isn't reached, you'll see the closing of federal agencies and national parks. Congress is expected to break again at the end of the month and then return after Election Day, so a stopgap bill is likely needed to keep the government open past the election. Right now, a live look in Philadelphia, where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are getting ready for the ABC News presidential debate simulcast. This will mark the first debate between these candidates, and tonight there will be a few notable changes, like, well, there'll be no live audience, the candidates won't be allowed to bring pre-written notes with them on stage, and according to NBC News, candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions and to give rebuttals. But this time the mics will be muted when it's not a candidate's turn to speak. And coming up in our next half hour, Kyle Clark's going to join our discussion with what to expect tonight at that presidential debate.
Chillier mornings mean fall is almost here, and doctors say that's time to start thinking about getting an updated flu and a COVID shot. If you're trying to get the updated COVID vaccine for your kid, you may have to wait. According to the website, CVS and Walgreens locations in Denver say they're out of stock. Local pediatric offices tell 9 News they're low on supply as well. Doctors say late approval of the latest vaccine by the FDA has led to a slower than anticipated arrival of the vaccine, but they say there still should be plenty of time to get it before winter gets here.
You know, in a perfect world, maybe it would have rolled out right at the beginning of the school season, school year, but a little late, better than never. And, you know, it's going to be a tough winter, so getting that on board is definitely recommended.
We did reach out to Walgreens and CVS to see when they might get those pediatric doses back in stock. We're still waiting to hear back.